Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday, everybody. It's 4 o'clock. Hippie Chicks live. Today, it's just singular hippie chick, but I'm live. Welcome, welcome. Elle has a teaching gig this week. I have no idea what she's teaching. Something good, I'm sure. But I'll hear all about it when she gets back. But it's an evening course she is teaching with a friend of hers and on the peninsula. So you're stuck with me today. So I was like, okay, I don't want to be sitting here talking hypnosis for half an hour. Yawn. Well, maybe not. It's a very fascinating industry, to say the least. But I figured we'd have a little fun with Chat GPT. I call it Ezra, Hebrew for helper, which I thought was kind of appropriate. So we're going to see what Ezra wants to do. I thought, maybe you could just give me a list of questions like you were interviewing me as the most interesting person in the world. Yeah, right. But still, I've got some good stories. So get yourself a beverage. It is 4 o'clock on a Friday. 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock. 4 o'clock is, go ahead, unwind now. Get your weekend going. All right. So before we get started, though, I'm a little loopy because I'm taking some drugs. I don't know if you could take what drugs, Kathy. If you can see how swollen my right hand is, I have like literally no knuckles because I was doing yard work yesterday and stumbled upon a tiny little wasp nest, but it was big enough to house a good 10 wasps. I didn't see it and they saw me, and I want to say I got stung at least 5 or 6 times. Not fun. Hurt like a mofo. So the swelling has been a little crazy. So I took some Benadryl to hopefully help it go down. It shouldn't last too long. I'm breathing. I don't have anaphylaxis, so that's a good thing. So, but it sucks nonetheless. So that's my recent news. But the best news I want to talk about, I want to gush a little bit about what's been going on with the World Cup and the U.S. cities hosting the World Cup. What a magical thing that was. This country isn't really big on soccer unless you are a child in school and they just want to siphon money out of their parents to keep the kids uber busy. But other than that, we don't go goo goo gaga like the rest of the world does for football, what is appropriately football. But dang, what a beautiful thing. And I don't think anybody was prepared for that, especially the media, who is going, oh shit, they know we've been lying to them the whole time. I mean, everybody's been absolutely fantastic, but obviously, two cultures specifically have just taken the whole kit and caboodle to a whole new level, and that would be the Scots. I'm 1/4 Scottish, Clan McRae, and also the Dutch. Oh my God, what an infectious freaking little ditty they got going, and they get the crowd going, and to see a sea of orange moving in unison like that, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And I never knew that soccer was, or the World Cup was known as the beautiful game, or the soccer is known as the beautiful game. Clueless. So that was a beautiful and enlightening experience these last couple of weeks with this going on. It's like, it doesn't matter who wins or loses, really. It's just about the community and the experience and the togetherness. We've all desperately needed this, and now we got a big dose of what it looks like and what it feels like. And I think now we're going to do our very best to keep recreating this and not let the powers that be, the media owners, dictate how we treat each other. So kudos to the World Cup for bringing world peace. I mean, come on, man. It's pretty freaking awesome. So let's get down to these questions that Ezra came up for me. He kind of, I give it a gender. Ezra sounds like a male name to me. So put it down into three categories. We got life, we got relationships, we got healing, we got identity, fun, spirituality, business, just some random questions, and we can dive off the deep end. So figured we still got a good 25 minutes to go here. So let's start off light. With just the first batch of questions. We're going to start off with some life questions. And Ezra asks, what's something that I believe today that 30-year-old Kathy or Kat would argue with? There's just one phrase that pops into my head, and at the risk of sounding very, I don't know, sounds arrogant, but it isn't. It's just that I'm freaking awesome. Right? We all are in our own way. And once you embrace that about yourself, it's a game changer. And when I was 30 years old, I would say it sure outwardly, but on the inside, hell no. Hell no. Heidi girl, how are you? Thank you for being here. I'm flying solo today. So if you have some questions, feel free to ask, because I've got my chat GPT, who I call Ezra, firing off questions, kind of like getting interviewed by a robot, which is kind of fun. But if you have any kind of curious questions that you want to know about, feel free to ask. Otherwise, just grab a bev and kick back, and let's see what kind of stories come out of me today. So the next question is, what is the hardest lesson life has ever insisted that I learn? And that would be self-worth, without question. It is the lack of self-worth is the reason why I stayed in an abusive marriage well past its prime. Was there a prime? No, there was only prime because I made sure there was. So there's that. But still, I kept saying that I stayed because I had faith in our relationship. And of course, I was totally infatuated with my ex-husband's, or then husband's, potential, which he would show every now and again just to keep me around. But the real factor of it is I was afraid to be on my own. I did not have a sense of my own value and what I brought to the table. And that's another reason why for the longest time it was easy for him to manipulate me, because of that lack of my own self-worth. So that was the biggest lesson. And here's an interesting little side note, especially for people who understand astrology, because it's astrology is so much more than just your stupid little sun horoscope. That's child's play compared to how deep your natal chart can disclose about what you set up for yourself. It's a blueprint, and it's ever changing because we're ever evolving and influenced by the energies around us. So in my natal chart, I've got some pretty heavy planets in my second house, and the houses are in just a quick little astrology lesson. It's a pie chart, and there's 12 pieces to the pie, and each pie piece is a house, 1 through 12, obviously. So the first house is your own persona. The second house is your own self-worth, what you value, and how you make your own money. So when I mean by heavy planets, I've got like Saturn ruling my second house. So a lot of money issues, which is your value. Am I charging what I'm worth? For the longest time, no, I did not. I was giving shit away. I gave my power away to my ex-husband. Power everywhere. Gave it all away because I didn't believe that I should encompass that myself. I just did not think that highly of myself, which is fucking ridiculous. So, but and maybe we'll get to a question that will answer how I did that. It was definitely the school of hard knocks, without question. But having your Chiron is the wounded healer, so big issues around self-esteem. So that is a lesson that fortunately I have, now that I'm in my second Saturn return, is because Saturn takes 28 years to make a revolution around the sun. So the second Saturn return, your late 50s, pushing up on 60. So finally, thank God, in the nick of time. Some people never do. So I'm very grateful for learning that lesson, because it was definitely a game changer. When did I realize surviving and living weren't the same thing? Well, what time is it? Yeah, that's a recent one. Absolutely. Because surviving was just normal. Survival mode. That's basically was my jam my whole life, not just adult life, even in my childhood. Trying to avoid getting harassed by my older brother, who just got off on hearing me scream or cry. Yeah, that wasn't fun. And my mother was very, unfortunately, not good at keeping him at bay. In fact, she would end up punishing me because she got tired of hearing me scream. So imagine that. But yeah, so being in survival mode has just been the norm. So recognizing what peace is, at first it felt boring. Isn't that weird? Yeah, peace felt boring, but no, it isn't. Now I cherish my peace and I guard it with everything now. I don't let anybody wreck my peace. And how would I say it? I clean my algorithm, my own personal algorithm of my own life, to keep all that bad shit away. And what's one decision that changed the entire trajectory of my life? I made numerous decisions to do that. The first one was divorcing my first husband. Yeah, I've been married twice. Nice guy, still friends with him. Not husband material for me. I'm not going to say anything further about that, but that changed the trajectory of my life. Then also deciding to marry the next person that I got into a serious relationship with, that changed the course of my life, because I had choices. And Kathy likes to make the hard ones, I guess. The hard choices are for me, apparently, or at least old me it was, not anymore. And then when I decided to stop smoking, because I used hypnosis. And let me tell you, I was the kind of person, I was a chain smoker. I just it was a freaking chimney. I had a coworker when I was a mortgage banker. I had a coworker at a social function just look at me and say, "Why don't you enjoy some air, Kathy?" And I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, you're right. Maybe I should." And that was when was it? I did my hypnosis session March 3rd, 2007, and I haven't smoked cigarettes since. I actually tried once. I took a drag off of one like maybe 10 years ago, and I'm just like, ugh, it's disgusting. I have no desire whatsoever. And that's the beautiful thing about hypnotherapy, because you're not just forcing yourself to override the physical side of it, which is really a lot smaller than people believe that it is. It's only maybe 1%. The rest of it's all emotional, psychological. So once that was out of my life, that changed everything. And I was like, you know what? I could do that. I'd rather sell people their own life than a silly interest rate that's only benefiting a few hundred people at the top. So that definitely changed the trajectory of my life. And then, oh my goodness, the next one would be, I want to say it was the spring equinox of 2018. Was the fight that finally began the end of my marriage. Oh, thank God, because I honestly had tried to leave that relationship every 15 months, but my ex-husband was really good at future promising, at sounding really believable, like he's making effort to change. And I fucking took it every time. And until that last time, I'm just like, yeah, that's it. We're done. We're fucking done finally. And so that changed my life, obviously. And then I made the decision to move from Maryland to Hampton Roads out of sheer faith that my destiny's waiting here for me, or will show up here for me somehow. I don't know. We shall see. So, so far so good. I'm not drowning in these questions. Heidi, how you doing, girl? You still there? You keeping me company? Let's see here. If life had chapter titles, what chapter are you in now? I'm in the chapter that I just burn everything down and I'm starting fresh. Man, freaking Phoenix. It is the Phoenix chapter of my life, without question. All right. So let's see here. All right. So here's an interesting question. What's a hill you'll happily die on? And that's an interesting way of phrasing it. Actually, I think of it as my unpopular opinions, because I've got a couple of them. The number one thing is burial plots and burying people in caskets. First of all, burial plots, what a waste of real estate. I'm sorry. Headstones, all that stuff. Really? What if we had been doing that all along and not just, started it 200 years ago or whatever? I mean, yeah, there are, I guess in England, there are some 500-year-old old tombstones, but I still think it's a waste of freaking real estate. Seriously, you burn them and let them go back to the earth, plant a tree, right? And if that tree dies or gets struck by lightning or gets cut down, then plant another one. And in a couple of generations, no one's gonna know anyway. What else is an unpopular opinion? I can't think of any more right now. I'm sure it'll come to me. What's my weirdest habit? I'm not going to share that. What's my weird? Oh, okay. Weird habit. First off, I'm not a religious person. I'm very spiritual, but I am not religious whatsoever. However, as a child, I was raised in the Methodist faith, not, staunch. I think I went to Sunday school until I was about 8 years old, and then we kind of stopped going to church, and then went back again when I was a teenager. But then it's like whatever, kind of blasé about it. So. But my weirdest habit that I do before I go to bed is I cross myself. And I honestly think that is a past life memory. I have no doubt that I had many lifetimes in the clergy, if you will, either as as some type of figurehead, male, female, doesn't matter. I've been on the good side of religion, trying to, really genuinely help people or find my own way. And then I've been on the bad side too, because we all come here to get a little taste of everything. So that's what I think that is. So I find that very weird that I do that, because first of all, I wasn't even raised Catholic. The Methodists don't cross themselves or do any of that stuff. What's my guilty pleasure? My guilty pleasure, and I don't let myself have it very often, is American cheese. Oh my God, it makes the best cheeseburgers. It makes the best omelets. Hands down. Yeah, it would be American cheese, but it's fake as it could be. Let's see, what else? Oh, have you ever had a dream that you swear you were visited by a ghost or a spirit? Absolutely. Yeah, actually, it was when I was 14 years old. And my great grandmother on my father's side was kind of slipping in and out. She, as they say, one foot in the grave and the other in a banana peel. And bless her heart, she was 91 91, 92, early 90s. And she wasn't officially crossed over yet. She was, just kind of, going in and out, as I said. But when I had this dream about her, I had a very emotional episode with my then 14-year-old boyfriend. I forget what's to be. He was trying to be controlling or whatever, and very insecure. And I fell asleep crying because he stressed me out. And I had this dream that in my family home, and it was a holiday party, but only the women were there, which I thought was an interesting detail. But my grandma Creole walks in the front door, and I'm like, Grandma Creole, what are you doing here? And at this point, I'm like, aren't you dead? Like thinking that she's already crossed over. And she looks at me and smiles and goes down into the rec room and sits in this wooden rocking chair, this beautiful wooden rocking chair that we have, which I now have. And she sits down in that, and I go down to her, and she's just rocking in that rocking chair, and she's smiling and laughing. And when she laughs, she said it sounded like a chicken. And I was like, what are you doing here, Grandma Creole? And she's like, I just came here to let you know that you are loved. And then she took my hand and took me down into our laundry room. Now, the weird thing about this house that I grew up in, it was very energetically active, if you will. I never saw apparitions, but you could feel them there. The house was built on top of a spring. So if you know anything about water and energy, it's a conduit. So a conductor. So a lot of activity was going on in our basement, because that's we're part of this. If you took away some of the I guess the bricks or whatever, you could see where the spring was. And she took me down to the laundry room, and we started walking towards the machines, and they disappeared. And all of a sudden, this beautiful, lush garden showed up with colors I can't even describe, and this beautiful music that had this like comforting hum behind it for just a freaking nanosecond. That's all I got. It was just but I'll never forget it. And next thing you know, we were back up there, and I knew right there, obviously she gave me a glimpse of heaven, if you will. And I asked her if I could give her a hug, and she said, absolutely. And I gave her a hug, and it was the most electric thing I have ever experienced in my life. And that happened when I was 14, and I remember it vividly, like I just had the dream last night. So there's that. That was a really very, very, very cool experience. That was very, very real. Let's see here. Oh, what do you think people are really searching for? Well, bottom line is happiness and peace. When I work with my clients, that's the first thing I have them do is kind of assess how they feel, and just boil it down into two simple adjectives. And a lot of times, people are just feeling lost and sad and angry. And anger, of course, is sadness's bodyguard. A lot of people feel afraid, a lot of fear going on. I get that, because I was afraid for a very long time. I was afraid to stay with my ex-husband, and I was afraid to leave. So that's a pretty screwed up situation. But people are really looking for happiness, and that's why they come to see me, is to find their joy and their happiness. They're not looking for a quick fix. They're not looking for a Band-Aid. You can't do that with waving a magic wand, right? So once we find out where you're vibrating from, then that's where we start. And our goal is to go to the other end of that spectrum, and the other end of that spectrum is happiness. It's joy. It's sovereignty. It's that self-love, and that self-love. People get turned off by the sound of that because we think it denotes being arrogant or full of yourself. And yeah, of course, that's the unevolved version of that. But the evolved version of self-love is, boundaries, self-care. You take care of yourself. God, for the longest time, I just stopped everything. Um, just I was in complete and utter survival mode. And yeah, your health suffers as a result of that. But then when you get back online, it all falls into place, and that is a beautiful thing. So let's see, we got 5 minutes or so to go. If the whole world could hear you for 60 seconds and you knew they would actually listen, what would you say? What would I say? I just actually saw a beautiful video somebody put together that was a compilation of just all the celebrations from the World Cup, and they did I guess a little rap song to it. And the hook was, "We are one, we are one, we are one." So once we understand that how you're treating your neighbor, you're treating yourself. I mean, honestly, I think there's a book out there that describes all this kind of oneness jargon and rigmarole, because we are that same energy, and that's what that person was trying to tell us, is that we have the abilities to do that too. But then, of course, his work got hijacked and bastardized, and now people are hypnotized by it. And that's a real shame, because that's some really good information in there. But you can find that same information in disguised as other things, like the law of attraction, the law of assumption, the works of Neville Goddard, and Florence Scovel Shinn, and all those folks, and even current today with Abraham Hicks. So it's all the same information. We are all one, and we are multi-level, multi-dimensional, powerful badasses, and don't you forget it. So that's what I would say. So as we wrap up this little conversation here today, Heidi, thank you so much for joining me today. You're all it's interesting when I have to fly solo. I never know what the hell I'm going to talk about, and up until right about 5 minutes before, I'm like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to and I'll just say shut up and do it, and here I am. So if you want to know more about me and my business, Hypno Health Solutions, you can go to hypnohelpsyou.com. And join us here every Friday, New Reality TV, Facebook, Instagram. Where else are we? YouTube, for Hippie Chicks Live, 4:00. So, that's so sweet of you to say, Heidi. She says, it's always so nice to listen to you talk. Well, I really appreciate that. And I was actually told that a lot when I was a mortgage banker, and I'm on the phone all the time. So I guess that was the way I was able to calm people down when I told them what their interest rate was. But it certainly helps as a hypnotherapist. So I appreciate the compliment, my dear. And I appreciate the company as well. So glad that you could join us, and hope to have you join us again. I'm trying to find where we could put the comments. There we go. That's what I want to do. Fabulous. All right, my dears. Well, again, thanks for joining me. Thanks for just being you. And you made it through another week. I hope you enjoy your weekend, and your upcoming week is filled with all kinds of beautiful synchronicities and nice surprises and joy. And, every time you think about being sad, just remember that this is just your life, and you can make it. and you can make it any way you want. 10 years ago, I was miserable, and now I am living the dream. So, just put your head to it and reach out to people, because we're all in this together. So see you next week. Stay groovy. Love you guys.